Today I'm going to talk about some of the best car transmissions ever made. Now it's going to be a more performance-oriented discussion, so it's going to be good transmissions and really fun cars. So I'm not going to really mention anything about the Toyota Camry transmission because I frankly don't know anything about the Toyota Camry transmission. Now before I get started, you guys should all check out our Instagram page at Vehicle Virgins, and we post a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, cool pictures of cars we're reviewing, cars we're hanging out with friends, just a lot of cool content back there. So go to Instagram, check it out. I'm sure you'll enjoy what we post there. Now, Parker recently just filmed a video talking about the worst transmissions ever made. Go check them out. There are some really bad ones that made it into the vehicles, but today there are some really great transmissions that automakers have come up with. First of all, the Porsche PDK. Now it stands for PDK is an abbreviation. It's Porsche Doppelkupplung, which literally just means double clutch. Porsche has dominated in the double clutch transmission field. I mean, for decades, not decades, but many years, they've had the best transmission out there. A dual clutch is great because you have a clutch for the even gear set and odd gear set. So you're in a gear, the computer knows what gear you're gonna go into next. Well, and then it has that prep. So I mean, crazy fast shift times. The latest PDK transmissions can shift in less than 100 milliseconds, which is, I mean, there are some race cars that shift that quickly. It is a great transmission. The best part about it though, why Porsche has always been at the top, is because it is well behaved. Now, it's got impeccable shift logic. It shifts crazy fast, launch control, all of that. But then when you're driving around normally, let's just say you're in a parking lot or something like that, it is also very well behaved. That's where they were essentially really successful, because some of the other transmissions out there would have a lot of problems when you're driving not full out. PDK has been so successful that it's kind of like taken over from the manual. I mean, yes, the manual transmission is the enthusiast choice. It is going to be more engaging and more fun. That's not to say the PDK isn't fun. It is so freaking awesome that you don't really think about the fact that, hey, I wish this sort of wasn't manual still. Given, for example, both me and Parker have driven the 991 GT3 around the track multiple times on the street. PDK transmission only for the new GT3. It is perfect. I mean, you can shift it yourself. The paddles respond extremely quickly. Transmission responds extremely quickly. Or you just leave it by itself and in sport mode. I mean, it just does everything you want it to be doing, and it's just excellent. Next up, we have the new Huracan and Audi R8 transmissions. Also a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. The old Lamborghini Gallardo had one of the worst transmissions out there. I mean, not the worst, but it was not well executed. For example, Parker mentioned it, the E-gear. There were reliability issues. They would burn through clutches. Stuff would break. It shifted crazy fast at full throttle, which was great. It would slam you back in your headrest when you're going. But around town, it sucked. It was garbage. Now, the Aventador went to it's a single clutch 7-speed. So while it did shift crazy fast too, I mean, like 150 milliseconds shift time, something really quick, around town it sucks. The drivability is horrible. It's clunky, slow, it's not smooth, not usable. New Lamborghini dual clutch, that 7-speed that's also used in the new R8 V10 Plus is awesome. I mean, Parker first got his car, upshifts, downshift, it's just instantaneous, up and down. You can hold the downshift paddle and drop it to the lowest gear possible so you can accelerate crazy fast. That transmission is perfectly usable around town when you're driving normally at half throttle, in the parking lot when you're parking. It's not jerky. Reverse is perfect. I mean, it just is all around. There's really nothing bad about it. It's actually pretty much perfect. It is on par with the best dual clutch transmissions in the world. And then it's so freaking fast. It's part of what enables the Lamborghini to be so quick. 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds of launch control, which you can do over and over and over, which we have done, is amazing. I mean, it runs to Parker around a quarter mile in 10.7. That transmission is just brilliant. Next up, we have the BMW M DCT, another 7-speed dual clutch transmission, and it is excellent. Recently, we both drove a M6 Grand Coupe with it, and it really is excellent. It's on par with the PDK. It shifts extremely quickly. Shift logic is great, and it's also very smooth and usable. I kind of see a trend there. A lot of DCTs are just transmission can shift really quickly, but there are times when they fail to drive in a nice, well-behaved manner. The new BMW M DCT is excellent, unlike the older SMGs where they could shift quickly but were just garbage when you're not driving it 10 out of 10. This shifts extremely quickly. Now, you can get the M6 and M4 in a manual transmission. I have driven both the M6 and the manual and DCT configurations. Personally, I actually liked the DCT more. That might sound like blasphemy, but it just didn't seem to fit the character of the car with the manual transmission, and the BMW manual transmission is not my favorite out there. With the dual clutch, it was a perfect GT car. It was crazy fast. That transmission is excellent. They have done an excellent job with it. If you ever get the chance to drive a BMW M car with a DCT, take it, because it is awesome. The last two on the list are going to be manual transmissions. So a lot of people are going to complain, blah, 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 why are you talking about automatic transmissions? Because, I mean, dual clutches are essentially computer-controlled, automated manual transmissions, and they are great. They are where the future is going. Just because you like a dual clutch transmission does not mean you aren't a car enthusiast. Like, I can still appreciate a manual transmission. They're still a lot of fun to drive, but there was something to be said about a very, very functional and well-designed dual clutch like the PDK, the Lamborghini, or the BMW. But there are some really good manual transmissions out there, and there are some really bad ones like the MT82 in my Mustang, which is gone now because that sucked. But the Porsche transmission, again, another Porsche, their manual is excellent, and the Cayman GT4. Parker says it's probably the best manual he has ever driven. It is just great. Everything feels great shifting, the clutch feel, the combination. Porsche does have that down really well. There are actually a lot of people who had bought their 991 GT3s. Those are enthusiasts who track their cars and enjoy their cars and drive them hard. They got annoyed that it wasn't a manual only. Previous to that, like the 997 GT3 was a manual transmission only. Porsche made the option to go to PDK only. What a lot of people did was sell their 991 GT3s and go into the Cayman GT4 because they wanted that 6-speed manual track car raw feeling. It is great. In addition, also Porsche's 7-speed manual transmission, which is great that 911 still offers a manual option. Very few cars still do that now. Is also awesome. There's a lot of really cool features. I mean, it's active downshift rev matching. It's got actually 2 neutral centers for because you got an extra gate for the 7th gear. It's just a lot of different cool features in that where they're still pushing the envelope to make manual transmissions relevant. A lot of fun to drive, great transmission. Last one on the list is the formerly the BorgWarner T56, which was taken over by Tremec in about 1998, introduced in the early 90s. That transmission was found in many, many cars. The reason it's considered, in our opinion, one of the best transmissions ever made is just the applications and the range of vehicles and the longevity of that transmission is just, it's absurd. Again, introduced in 1992, T56. Now, in the latest iteration, is the Tremec TR6060. Here are some of the cars that it was found in. I mean, Dodge Vipers, Corvettes, multiple generations of Dodge Vipers. For example, the new Viper ACR runs the Tremec TR6060, and that is a monster on the track that can just destroy supercars. Great transmission, great feel. Everything is excellent. That same transmission, essentially that transmission architecture, was also used in Shelby GT500s. Anything American with a big engine and a lot of horsepower probably had either a T56 or the new TR6060. Chevy SS, I mean Z06s, CTSV, Dodge Vipers, actually the Ram SRT10 truck had that. It's a great transmission that can handle a ton of power. In the latest iteration, it'll take about, I think, 600 pound-feet of torque, just stock like that. If you want to enjoy driving from a manual perspective, usually if you have a big muscle car or something like that, that is a great go-to option. So that is a list of in our opinion, the 5 best transmissions ever made. Some are older ones, for example, the manual Tremec that I was just talking about have been around for decades. Some brand new Lamborghini dual clutch with the latest technology. They offer no compromises. They are extremely fast, extremely easy to drive, and also are just perfect in every way. With pretty much, there's no downsides to them. Whereas in the past, some of these transmissions may be good at one thing, but fall short on something else. Let us know what your opinions are. What do you think the best transmissions are? Do you own a car where you absolutely love it, like your S2K or something? You think that's the best transmission in the world and it deserves to make the list? Comment below. Like always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out our channel, check out the Instagram. Look forward to seeing you next video.